People can only control what they can read. If they can read your emotions, they can provoke you. If they can read your desires, they can tempt you. If they can read your fears, they can threaten you. If they can read your plans, they can prepare against you. And if they can read everything, they do not need to defeat you with force. They only need to study you long enough to know which word makes you angry, which silence makes you anxious, which compliment makes you careless, and which fear makes you obey. This is why becoming unreadable is not about being cold. It is not about pretending to be superior. It is not about playing childish games. It is not about hiding because you are afraid. It is about becoming sovereign. It is about protecting the private kingdom inside you from people who have not earned the right to enter it. In the spirit of Machiavelli, power does not always belong to the loudest person, the strongest person, or even the smartest person. Power often belongs to the person who reveals the least, because the person who reveals less forces everyone else to guess, and the one who makes others guess controls the room without needing to announce that he is in control. Most people are easy to read. They reveal their anger immediately. They explain their plans too early. They tell strangers what they want. They show disappointment the moment they feel it. They post their emotions before they have even understood them. They are not bad people. They are simply exposed. Their inner world is open territory. Anyone can walk in, press a button, and watch the reaction. This is the hidden weakness of the modern person. He wants to be understood by everyone, so he explains everything. He wants to be liked by everyone, so he reveals too much. He wants to feel connected, so he gives access to people who have not earned trust. He wants to be seen, so he becomes predictable. But the more predictable you become, the easier you are to manage. A predictable person can be provoked. A predictable person can be flattered. A predictable person can be delayed. A predictable person can be manipulated by anyone patient enough to observe his patterns. The unreadable person breaks this pattern. He does not react the moment he is touched. He does not answer every question fully. He does not turn every feeling into a public confession. He does not give the world a map of his fears, his ambitions, his wounds, and his next move. He listens. He watches. He speaks only when speech serves him. And when he does speak, he gives enough to be understood, but not enough to be possessed. This is the art of mystery. Not fake mystery. Not theatrical silence. Not the shallow performance of someone trying to look powerful. Real mystery is restraint. It is the space between what you feel and what you show. It is the distance between what you know and what you say. It is the discipline to let other people wonder instead of rushing to explain yourself. Machiavelli would understand this instantly. In a world of courts, rivals, alliances, betrayals, and shifting loyalties, the man who revealed too much did not remain safe for long. A careless word could become a weapon. A visible fear could become a leash. A known desire could become a trap. A public weakness could become an invitation. And although the world has changed its clothing, the game has not disappeared. The court is now the office. The court is now the group chat. The court is now the family table. The court is now social media. The court is now the relationship where one person studies the other person's reactions and learns exactly how to control them. The names have changed. Human nature has not. At work, the unreadable person has an advantage. He does not tell everyone how badly he wants the promotion. He does not complain openly about every frustration. He does not reveal that he is desperate to leave. He does not let colleagues see every insecurity, every ambition, every resentment. He performs. He observes. He learns who speaks carelessly, who carries information, who flatters upward, who smiles downward, and who pretends to be harmless while collecting details. He understands that in professional life, information travels faster than loyalty. So he does not feed the machine. He keeps his next move private until it is already too late to block it. This does not make him dishonest. It makes him careful. There is a difference between lying and refusing to expose yourself. One is deception, the other is discipline. In dating, the unreadable person is not the one who plays cruel games. He is the one who does not hand over his entire emotional life in the first week. He does not become desperate for reassurance. He does not reveal every wound to someone who has not yet proven tenderness. He does not confuse attraction with trust. He does not mistake chemistry for character. He understands that desire can make a person careless. So he moves slowly. He lets the other person reveal themselves over time. He watches how they handle silence. He watches how they handle boundaries. He watches how they respond when they do not get immediate access to everything he feels. Because patience exposes people, the person who respects you will respect your pace. The person who wants control will become irritated by your mystery. This is why being unreadable protects you. It does not push away the right people. It filters out the wrong ones. In friendships, the same rule applies. Not every friend deserves every detail. Some friends can celebrate you only when you are struggling. Some can listen to your pain but not your ambition. Some can hear your weakness and feel close to you, but hear your strength and feel threatened. This is uncomfortable, but it is true. Many people bond through shared limitation. The moment you begin to grow beyond the old version of yourself, the bond is tested. And if the friendship was built on mutual stagnation, your improvement will feel like betrayal. So become selective. Tell less. Observe more. Let people prove that they can handle your growth before you give them access to your dreams. Because dreams are not casual conversation. Dreams are private architecture. You do not invite everyone into the building while the foundation is still wet. Family is more complicated, because family may love you and still not understand you. They may want your safety more than your freedom. They may want your stability more than your transformation. They may remember an older version of you so strongly that they cannot see the person you are becoming. So when you reveal too much too soon, they may not attack your dream. They may protect you from it. They may warn you, question you, slow you down, remind you of every past failure. Not because they hate you, but because they are afraid of watching you suffer. But fear, even when it comes from love, can still become a cage. The unreadable person learns to love his family without surrendering his future to their anxiety. He tells them what they need to know, not everything he is building in silence. On social media, unreadability has almost become rebellion. The world wants you to confess constantly where you are, what you feel, who hurt you, what you are building, what you believe, what you hate, what you desire, what you fear. Every post becomes a small act of exposure. And exposure feels like power at first because it gets attention. But attention is not power. Attention is often the price you are paid for giving strangers access to your nervous system. The unreadable person does not disappear because he is weak. He withdraws because he understands value. Not every feeling needs an audience. Not every victory needs immediate posting. Not every loss needs public explanation. Not every opinion needs to become a performance. He lets people wonder, and in a world where everyone is begging to be seen, the person who does not beg becomes strangely magnetic. Mystery creates gravity. This is one of the oldest truths in human psychology. People are drawn to what they cannot fully explain. When someone reveals everything, the mind closes the file. There is nothing left to discover, nothing left to wonder about, nothing left to respect from a distance. But when someone reveals selectively, the mind stays active. Who is he really? What is he thinking? What is he building? Why does he not react? Why does he not need to prove himself? Uncertainty creates attention, and controlled uncertainty creates status. This is why calm people often seem powerful even before they do anything extraordinary. Their calmness creates distance. Their distance creates curiosity. Their curiosity creates weight. The person who reacts instantly gives away his center. The person who pauses keeps it. A pause is not empty. A pause is control made visible. When someone insults you and you react immediately, they learn that they can move you. When someone challenges you and you rush to defend yourself, they learn that your identity is still in their hands. When someone ignores you and you become desperate, they learn that your peace depends on their attention. But when you stay calm, something changes. You return the discomfort to them. They expected a reaction. You gave them silence. They expected emotion. You gave them stillness. They expected access. You gave them a wall. And now they must sit with themselves. This is why silence can feel intimidating. Not because it attacks, but because it refuses to be used. To become unreadable, begin with your speech. Speak less than you want to. Most people speak from pressure, not purpose. They speak because silence makes them uncomfortable. They speak because they want approval. They speak because they are afraid of being misunderstood. They speak because they want to prove intelligence, loyalty, innocence, strength, innocence, or importance. But every unnecessary sentence is a door, and you do not know who is walking through it. So before you speak, ask yourself one question. Does this serve me? Not, does this express me? Not, will this impress them? Not, will this make the silence easier? Does this serve me? If the answer is no, keep it. Keep the detail, keep the explanation, keep the reaction, keep the plan. There is dignity in not spending yourself everywhere. Second, do not react instantly. Your first reaction is usually the least strategic version of you. It is your wound speaking, your fear speaking, your pride speaking, your old pattern speaking. Time separates impulse from identity. A few seconds can save your dignity. A few minutes can save a relationship. A few hours can save a decision. A few days can save your future. The unreadable person does not rush to prove he felt something. He knows he felt it. That is enough. He lets the feeling pass through the private chamber of his mind before he decides whether it deserves to enter the world. Third, keep your plans private. You already know why. Plans are vulnerable before they become evidence. When people know where you are going, they can follow, block, copy, mock, or discourage you. When they do not know, they can only watch what already happened. Reveal results, not intentions. Let the finished thing arrive before the explanation. Fourth, do not explain every emotion. You are allowed to feel something without turning it into a speech. You are allowed to be hurt without writing a confession. You are allowed to be angry without making a scene. You are allowed to be disappointed without teaching everyone how to disappoint you again. Some emotions are meant to be processed, not published. The person who explains every feeling becomes easy to predict. The person who understands his feelings privately becomes difficult to control. Fifth, let people wonder. This may be the hardest principle in the modern world, because many people would rather be poorly understood than not noticed. But mystery requires you to tolerate being misread. Sometimes people will think you are quiet because you have nothing to say. Let them. Sometimes they will think you are calm because you do not care. Let them. Sometimes they will think you are absent because you are weak. Let them. You do not need to correct every false image. The need to correct everyone is a form of slavery. Let them misunderstand the surface while you build the substance. The truth does not become weaker because it is not announced. Sixth, stay calm when provoked. This is where unreadability becomes real. Anyone can look mysterious in peace. The test is pressure. When someone disrespects you, when someone tries to shame you, when someone tries to pull you into an argument, when someone touches the exact insecurity they suspect you carry, that is the moment. Not after, not later, right there. Can you remain inside yourself? Can you choose your response instead of becoming their instrument? Can you let the insult die in the air without giving it a second life through your reaction? The strongest answer is not always a comeback. Sometimes the strongest answer is a look, a pause, a calm sentence, or nothing at all, because nothing confuses a manipulator more than a person who refuses to be managed. Seventh, protect your inner world. This is the center of everything. Your inner world is where your future is formed. Your standards, your wounds, your ambition, your imagination, your faith, your discipline, your private conversations with yourself. If you leave that world open to everyone, do not be surprised when it becomes crowded with voices that are not yours. You must become the gatekeeper. Not everyone enters. Not every opinion stays. Not every emotion rules. Not every question deserves an answer. This is not arrogance. It is stewardship. You are responsible for the condition of your own mind. And a mind with no borders becomes a home for other people's fears. Becoming unreadable does not mean becoming fake. In fact, it may be the first honest thing you do. Because most overexposure is not honesty. It is fear. Fear of silence. Fear of rejection. Fear of being disliked. Fear of being unknown. Fear of not being validated. Real honesty is not telling everyone everything. Real honesty is knowing what is true inside you and no longer needing every stranger, friend, lover, colleague, or critic to confirm it. You can be warm and still private. You can be kind and still guarded. You can be loving and still selective. You can be authentic without being available for public consumption. A castle with walls is not false. It is simply worth protecting. And so are you. There will come a moment when people notice the change. They will say you are different. They will say you are quiet, secretive, hard to read, hard to reach, hard to provoke. Let them say it. They are not describing your failure. They are describing the return of your power. Because once you stop leaking yourself into every room, you begin to gather. Your energy gathers. Your attention gathers. Your dignity gathers. Your presence gathers. You become heavier. Not heavier in sadness. Heavier in meaning. People feel that you are no longer desperate to be understood. And that unsettles them, because a person who does not need to be understood cannot be easily led by misunderstanding. They cannot control you with silence. They cannot control you with approval. They cannot control you with judgment. They cannot control you with curiosity. You have stopped handing out the keys. This is what it means to become unreadable. Not invisible, not emotionless, not cruel. Unreadable means your surface no longer betrays your center. Unreadable means your silence is chosen. Your speech is measured. Your emotions are governed. Your plans are protected. Your identity is no longer negotiated in public. The world can only control what it can read. So become harder to read. Speak less than you want to. React slower than they expect. Reveal less than they ask for. Protect more than they understand. Let your results appear before your intentions. Let your calmness answer before your mouth does. Let your mystery do what explanation never could. And when they wonder what changed, do not rush to tell them. That would defeat the lesson. Simply keep walking, quietly, carefully, sovereignly. If this lesson spoke to you, stay with the Machiavellian mind. Because the world can only control what it can read.